Tonight was all about promoting a conversation about inclusivity and people with a disability and how that fits with intimacy.
I think it's just really important to continue to talk about education, but also that people don't owe you answers to anything. But if you're going to be curious and want to learn about people in the right way, that's the best way to really get to the core of who that person is.
Absolutely amazing. The panellists were outstanding and there were many mic drop moments.
I think what was really beautiful about tonight was showing not just the singularity about disability, but talking about it from an intersectional perspective, whether it be through gender, sexuality, expression, identity. And it was just really beautiful, but also really important to highlight those differences and also the nuances when it comes to relationship and sexuality and intimacy, because it's different for everybody. And highlighting that diversity is actually key into shifting a culture.
It's really important to have these sorts of conversations because I think a lot of the time, for me personally, I felt so incredibly isolated after my accident and felt very disconnected from my social life, my friends, my work, my hobbies. And I think just being able to hold a space where we can talk about lots of different topics, have conversations in a safe, supportive environment with people that do relate to your lived experience.
The thing make me to be here is to meet different people, to hear different story.
Today we're here, a part of the Ironbark film crew. I did a bit of audio work. I operated the white camera.
Coming here, I thought it was going to be a little bit weird, but the conversations and the panellists, it was just really moving, really powerful, and in parts really funny too.
It's just so beautiful to have a queer, loving, inclusive space. So my Love of Cindy is just such a beautiful space.
I think the highlights for tonight was the vulnerability of our panellists and their confidence in sharing their story to a room full of strangers and feeling empowered to be using that as a platform to challenge the bias and stereotypes across our community.
I think the highlight for me was my fellow panelists, because you meet one disabled person, you've met only one disabled person. I don't believe it's our job. Able-bodied people need to make more effort in understanding our experience because their privilege protects them. And then to see allies, people who have taken the time to come out, that itself is an act to listen and sit with the uncomfortable, go back home and have those conversations.
Look, I hope that maybe future-wise we can live in a more of accepting and inclusive environment, and not just for people with disability, but, culturally diverse, First Nations, LGBTQI+ communities. We all have similar experiences in life. We all have very similar thoughts and, life goals. It's really important to see we're all very alike in our own way, and it's just about bringing community together.
Having these sorts of conversations is the only way that we are going to see and create the change that we want to see in the wider community.
I think I want to happen is the community, they need to involve the people living with disability for everything they can do. That they will help us to build the skills and inspire another people to come and new another ideas.
I think it's just so important to keep having these conversations.
There's opportunity into having a difficult conversation. You're not going to know how to do it because we haven't been taught how to do it naturally and by default, but we've got to start somewhere.
I think too often we act like information is not accessible, but really it's about the willingness to want to be educated. It's making a choice that you want to empower yourself. Those differences bring a different perspective, a different way of life. You don't need to be scared of that. You just need to be curious about it, and curiosity is a beautiful thing.